Yes.
Soke Yamaue, my dear beloved long-term teacher, and I would say the last real samurai, living samurai on planet Earth now.
Maybe one of the few.
One of the few, yes.
Yes.
You're a very special person to me, both to me, but also for thousands of other people. And you have a very, very, very interesting background and story to tell. And so actually, I would like to make this interview where we
Yes.
just basically go through your ancestral lineage, your history, and the family you were born into, and then about your life and what made you into who you are and where you are now. So this basically your whole life story and your family lineage, etc. So I'm looking very much forward to dive in and see what we're gonna find in here. I've heard a lot of stuff already, but you know, it's all there's always new things coming up every time, and I feel the world needs to hear this story. It's a very fascinating story.
Okay, so I will explain about the very briefly long history.
Yes.
And it is started with this is called that my family's logo or clan mark.
Okay, and what is this called?
Tachibana.
Tachibana.
Tachibana means a wild
Tachibana.
orange flower. Orange flower. Orange.
Okay, orange. Okay.
Orange, lemon, or whatever, citrus. And my family's original district comes from, we have 4 major family in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
It started about 1,500 years ago. Already,
you can trace your family back 1,500 years.
Yes, one of the oldest 4 families. Today, is one of the biggest is the emperor family, royal family. Then the Tachibana family and some others. We have 4 biggest family in major family in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then the it went because there is a marriage, our family and marriage with today's royal family marriage. It happened that all the time family and get married.
Yeah.
And we had called the period Heian period. It's a Kyoto started. Kyoto became the capital. It's 1,300 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about 7th to 8th centuries. The Nara ancient capital became too small, so emperor moved to Kyoto.
Okay.
Okay, and then the first founder of the Kyoto called the Emperor Kammu. And he needed kind of the military systems.
Yeah.
So he commanded to his grandson to organize a military class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is so his grandson became the head of Taira or Heike, Taira clan.
Okay.
Taira clan started, my clans.
Okay, and that was the military clan?
Yes, military clan.
Yeah.
And then the little by little, 400 years ago, continue 400 years in Kyoto as a protector and military protector for the royal family.
Okay, so protector for the emperor. So your clan was military clan protecting the emperor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then 400 years ago, the greatest man in our family, called Taira no Kiyomori, who controlled totally Japan, and then today the total samurai system has been fixed.
And is that the
So,
shogun? Is that shogun?
Shogun was later.
Or later?
He
Okay.
became. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but just before Shogun, he's the one. Actually, my family created the samurai system in Japan.
Okay, so we are going to the roots of the roots here.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then finally we had from our family's own emperor Antoku, already send his Kiyomori's daughter to marry with the emperor, and we get from our family youngest emperor in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay, so we became the family of the royal emperors.
Okay, so you were both military and emperor at that time in the same.
But unfortunately, 400 years as a military man, military general, and totally controlled Japan, religious, financially, and everything. They even became a loyal. So we forgot how to fight. Okay, because living in Kyoto, and it became a deluxe life.
Yes, you became businessmen.
Yeah, then finally, little by little, pushed out from the capital, Kyoto.
Okay.
And have to move to the Shikoku Island, which I was born in that island. Shikoku Island, just the four island in Japan, the big island, one of the smallest.
And where is that? Is it up or down? Where is that island?
It to the Pacific Ocean and the west.
To the west, okay.
West to south, southwest of Japan,
Okay.
Southwest of. And at that time there was no Tokyo. Tokyo was for the barbarians.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kyoto, Nara, Kyoto was the center. Kyoto, Osaka was the center.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moved to Shikoku Island, and we had a temporary government in Shikoku. But then little by little, and some families against, and we've been pushed out. And we lost the biggest war in Japan.
Okay.
So, yeah. And that happens 800 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. We lost the power, but the history is, and Japanese culture is still there.
Yeah.
So we lost Japan, and many people said our family's emperor also died. But we didn't die. We survived. We escaped, and we survived in the Shikoku Mountain.
Okay.
Which today is called the Iya Mountain. You can find a lot of data and in the YouTube document.
Okay.
Officially, the Emperor Antoku and those people have been wiped out, but we survived. And I am one of the last survivor.
The last survivors, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we didn't die. We didn't die out.
Okay, so your clan basically kept on surviving in that island.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is a very strengthening. But today, all the evidence showing that we didn't die out.
Yeah. Well, you're here, so obviously not.
Yes. So this is very brief, but short. But it is true evidence. And
could you, if you can send me links to this piece of history, I will post this underneath this video so people can check the links also on that.
Yes, and today is all the information you can get in the internet.
Yes.
About the history. So I give the name of and time like this and the links.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, even a lot of information in the YouTube. Okay, so in this way, so we have been hiding for several hundred years.
Yeah.
In the valley mountains, and then the little by little came out to the beach, and then they start to work out, and I am one of them, and I don't have any today documentation, but I have seen also my sister and all the historical scene that from my family trees, my name is the last, and then the starting with the Emperor Kammu is 794. 794. So it's 1,200 years.
794 generations, or what?
It's AD 794.
Oh, the year of 794. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, the Emperor Kammu is 781 to 806. And then his grandson started samurai systems. So this is my history is also Japanese samurai history.
Yeah. So you can't get more Japanese than this, and you can't get more samurai than this. Like this is like as juicy as it can get.
Yes, because
it's in the DNA. It's in
my roots, the bloodline created the samurai system in Japan.
Yeah. So if anybody listening here wants to know what a present-day samurai looks like, well, there we have it.
Yes.
By the way, can you turn the camera a little bit? I saw your samurai suit armor over here. Could you turn the
webcam? Can you see this is, and then the armor has a mark, right?
Yeah, I can see that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is Tachibana marks.
Yeah, it's like taken out of a samurai movie.
And this is I can wear. It's a reproduction, but this is mine. But it's not the antique.
Oh, okay. So it's made recently, like in this lifetime.
It's recently made out of the original copies, but this is recently made to fit to my body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Do you have any pictures with you wearing it?
No, maybe I can take it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yes.
Okay, so fast forward. Your clan starts to come out of the mountains and down to the beaches, the coast, and then what?
Yes. Then the at that time we were a kind of we lost the war, so it is dangerous to have your identity.
Yes.
So we have to live in a secret several hundred years.
Yes. Yeah. In Japan, if you lost the war, the whole family got wiped out, right?
Yeah, wiped out.
Yeah.
And our family's leader was Emperor Antoku, and he's supposed to be dead. He was 7 years old.
Okay.
And in the Japanese record, he is dead. But he didn't die. He was until 24. He lived.
Okay.
Because we are the descendants from him.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and this is a very funny thing is very famous place in Japan, and a totally isolated canyon, and many foreigners start to visit now because of they want to see the legend.
Yeah, the origins.
I found out that many evidence that 800 years ago, the monument and the village and everything, just over there.
Have you been there visiting?
Not exactly the same spot, but I was born around.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
grown up. So you know
Yeah.
how isolated.
Yeah.
But, and in the August, I am officially going to visit the place and the museum over there.
Okay.
Yes. So this is, and you know, those stories is very famous in Japan. They have make almost every year they make a movie.
Okay.
Okay, so many links also even in YouTube you can find 800 years ago how we lost.
Okay. So if you send me some links after this interview, and
Yes,
I
yes.
will post it underneath this video.
Yes, and you can also see in the YouTube as a Tyra Grant's movie of our families.
Okay.
Yeah, very famous one. Okay.
Okay. We check it out. And then what happened?
What happens is then we dipped as from the mountain to the beach. We dipped the farmer, fisherman, samurai, and in this way, because at that time there was not the exactly samurai class or farmer class. Okay. Then samurai was just a military people.
Yeah.
Then about 600 years ago, little by little, samurai military class became fixed.
Yeah.
And then the shogun time, shogun's time in the Tokugawa shogun time, he said, samurai number one, he divided to the 4 different classes. Okay, one is a samurai class, second one is a farmer, third one is a worker, and the fourth, number 4, bottom is business people.
Okay.
Yeah, that is Japanese class caste system. You cannot change.
Yeah.
Because farmer becomes the number 2, because the farmer is very important to produce food.
Yeah.
Okay, and the skilled workers, carpenters and like this, they are just workers. They are harmless, not dangerous for the system.
Okay.
And then in the bottom is the business people. They have money, so they are dangerous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the people who has money and then start by the power.
Yeah.
It is dangerous, so they put the military people up, but the business people in the bottom.
That's interesting. We should do that in the West right now. That would be great.
Yeah. In this way, the shogun family, 250 years, they can have the one family can control.
Yeah.
For generation.
And so your family back then in that period of time where the system, caste system got implemented, you told me that you forgot how to fight and you became business people, correct?
Business, and some became farmer, some became a mountain just to survive.
Okay, so your clan was not samurai in that period of time?
Somewhat. Our clan has been I have the my historical teacher told me that the Yamaue clan was working in the officer in the castle in where I was born.
And
One of the small forts. So that is about 500 years ago. We are working as already as a samurai.
so you were
So
allowed to bear weapons?
yes,
Yes. Okay.
but
So
some became a farmer. Some became
yeah, yeah,
in order to survive.
yeah. Okay.
And
So so some of you were allowed to carry weapon and become samurai. Some of you were farmers. Some of you were businessmen. So the clan was kind of spreading out all over the caste system.
yes, yes. Otherwise, it's and you have to hide.
Yeah.
Still, people are hiding. You cannot tell the truth. It is dangerous, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And
So,
then what happened?
uh, so then when I was born, it was a total another time, just the World War II finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. So total new time, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But
and then the
your family at the biological family you were born into, your mom and dad, were they in any way connected with anything of Bushido, Budo, samurai, anything?
yes, that is we are called the Goshi. It is keeping the samurai tradition, and the same time we are allowed to do farming. We are
Okay.
the landowner, and then we are family. We are samurai military class, and the same time we are farmer.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my country. It's called Tosa, where I was born.
Okay.
It's a Tosa province. Kochi, today the Kochi prefecture. We have the system that they are samurai, but daily they are farming. And my family was the landowner, so we have many people working for us. Like the small the manor house, all the times, the local king.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and there was so they are the farmer, but they were actually the aristocrat. No, they are not the real farmer,
Okay.
but they are the baron and something like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand.
a kind of the yeah local landowner. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
so you learned did you learn martial art from beginning from your parents or from other teachers or
No, the first one is my father was the school teacher, but when he was a student, he was already one of the top judo master.
top judo master?
Yes, and also at the same time he was a very highly athletic. So he was a member of the Japanese Olympic Committee at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was, but due to the war started, World War II started,
Yeah.
and that was his Olympic times. Then the Olympic was cancelled. Then the Berlin Olympic, like this, 1941 or something like this.
Mm-hmm. When were
Uh,
you born? What year were you born?
I was born in 1946, just the World War II finished.
Okay.
So I was totally in the new generation,
Mm-hmm.
okay, modern generation.
Yes.
Yeah, before wartime, uh, my father lost his sport career
Yeah.
when he was a student, but he was quite top, not only judo, but he was also running and, the all kind of the sport disciplines.
Yeah. Okay. So athletics.
So he was a school headmaster, but at the same time, it's a very big local and all the Japan's so-called sports federation's leader. Ne?
Mm-hmm.
So in this way, he had many connections, but he is the one who taught me judo and the basic things.
Yeah.
And I had an uncle who was a Goju instructor.
Okay.
Okay, and plus we did called the kenjutsu, all kind of called sword fighting.
Okay.
That was almost every day. Every day there was nothing. After school, we all kids come to the temple garden, and if the 30 kid comes, we divided in a 15 to two groups. Okay, and we have some fighting rules.
Yeah.
And we fight with the bamboos. Bamboo sword every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And how old were you when you started doing that?
That was as long as I can remember. I was 5-6 years to until the 15.
So you learned how to walk, and then you start doing stuff.
Yeah, we were tough and fighting.
Yeah.
Then in the high school, so it means I have to leave my home to go to study, go to the gymnasium, high school.
Yeah.
It's our capital town called Kochi, province capital. Then I met in that class. I met my classmate. He was a very tall guy, and he said he was doing Shaolin Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Training, and I said I don't believe, because Shaolin Kung Fu at that time at a secret society, nobody knew.
Yeah. And also, it's Chinese.
Yeah, Chinese, and because in Japan called the Shorinji Kempo.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Shorinji Kempo, and the master came back from China, but he was Japanese origin.
Yeah. Okay.
And do you remember Ouchi Sensei? He's also the instructor for.
Oh, really? Yes, I remember him. I will never forget him.
Yeah, he's always talking about the Shaolin. Yes. So because one thing totally different, Daishoji Temple in Okayama, and only a few kilometers from there was a Doshin So. My sensei was born, and he went to China to study and came back as a Shaolin masters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that way he was also born in the Daishoji temple.
Okay.
Very close to them. So very, very strange.
So he went to Shaolin Temple in China, became a master, came back.
No, he didn't go to Shaolin Temple, but he studied because he was first when he was a kid, moved to North China called Manchuria.
Yeah, Manchuria. Yeah.
Manchuria and working. Then joined to the Japanese military. And he joined Japanese so-called like a CIA.
Yeah. Okay.
Spy organization, and he traveled all China to collect the information to the Japanese military.
Okay.
Then he was he speaks Chinese, but anyway he was original Japanese, so Chinese people can see. So he was pretending as a monk.
Okay.
To travel China, to gather information, because he's a Japanese secret serviceman.
Yeah.
And then the Chinese Kung Fu master was a leader. and he traveled. So in this together with Chinese Kung Fu master, and then this Chinese Kung Fu master took him to Shaolin Temple, and he trained there.
Okay.
Okay, and then he's supposed to stay in China, but we lost the war, and all the Japanese origin have to go back to
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
So in this way, so we are very lucky. So we got him back to Japan.
And so you met him in the university.
Yeah, so that is the time, eh? But
Yeah.
before that, high school, my director sensei in Kochi was the Dochin Sosa assistant instructor. So he was one of the very, very top sensei.
Mm-hmm.
And then anyway, so my schoolmate, he said he was training Shaolin Kung Fu, and I couldn't believe. And I was pretty strong, very good in judo and very good in karate. So I said, "Oh, let me see. I don't believe.
Yeah.
I don't believe Chinese Kung Fu."
Yeah.
Then I couldn't believe, but he was very strong, and I couldn't do anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I lost in a fighting, and technically also I lost. Then I was interested in let me, introduce.
Yeah.
It was a secret society. We didn't know. We need the introduction to study.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get through him. I get invited to see how they training, and it was amazing. So I was 15 years old, and I opened my eye. This is the one I want to study.
And a quick question on the Shaolin Kung Fu, because there is a difference between the Shaolin Kung Fu we see on TV right now, and then the Shaolin Kung Fu. I'm sure that the Shaolin Kung Fu that he was performing back then looked very different from what we see now on TV, correct?
Yes, quite. Shaolin Kung Fu had about 12 in the northern style and 6 major southern style. So 2 types of the Shaolin Kung Fu.
North and south.
North and south. But even in north, there are many different styles. And what we done is called the Ifuamen. It means a kind of the branch in today's Beijing, Peking area. They were training. But they are all gone because of this Ifuamen group was the same, they were using the same name. Do you remember the boxers level upstand? Rising of the Boxer, 1900.
Okay.
In China.
Yeah.
Okay, and all boxers is kung fu people, eh?
Yeah.
They have been killed, mainly in the Peking. So that's why we don't have no more people like me who know the northern style. Not so many.
Yeah. Yeah, because I haven't seen anybody do anything that looks even remotely close to what you do, the way you do it.
Yeah, because most of them is gone. Like Bruce Lee was doing. Bruce Lee was doing with Wing Chun.
Yeah, Wing Chun. Yeah.
Who he changed it like me, long punch, because Bruce Lee saw the limit of the Wing Chun.
Yeah.
So he developed from Wing Chun to the long punch movement. Like me, it's the same movement.
Yeah.
But because Wing Chun is very short, right?
Yeah, it's very short.
No, very short, not moving. Mine is moving all the
Yeah,
body.
yeah,
So-called the long punch system.
yeah.
And I had a seminar with the head of the Shaolin temples several years ago, the seminar, and they said, like me, the movement is almost gone in China. Not
Yeah.
so many people know Shaolin long punch, jumping, and the long arm system.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it was very difficult for take years to master.
yeah. And it
And
requires a lot of physical strength.
yeah, Wing Chun and karate, and this is the short way. It's very very easy.
Yeah,
So it exactly like a karate. It's a short punch system. You know, it's a very
yeah,
short.
yeah,
So this became more popular in China also.
yeah.
So anyway, if the one good guy survived and transmit the system can survive.
Well, we can say for sure that you've been transmitting this system to thousands of people now on the planet.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
system survived.
Yes, system survive.
Yeah.
Today, the Shaolin temples. I've been a few years ago. My wife and me, we've been visit the Shaolin temple in China. They are doing too much circus. Today, like you see only in the TV transmission.
Yeah.
Not so good kung fu.
No.
Only kid training and just jumping using the floor is like a trampoline.
Yeah.
Jumping and kicking, all things.
Yeah. Yeah. And very deep stances that it's kind of impossible to practically perform a real fight. So there's a lot of things I can see that it has not much to do with realistic application.
But the many funny thing is, some of my Kung Fu students, they found in the YouTube that Hong Kong, demonstration of the Hong Kong police arresting techniques looks like exactly me.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the good technique survives.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good technique survives.
Yeah.
Today, some people bring as a this is good and looks like almost like I am doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it must be good and effective. So the Hong Kong police start to use not way, but anyway. So I'm very happy that my eyes was correct. So I studied the correct one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so this was my Kung Fu's first meeting when I was a high school boy, and I get the black belt. Then after high school is finished, I moved to Kyoto to study in university. Then my high school's partner and me, we have to open a Kung Fu club in Kansei University near the Kyoto. No? And I have to help him to organize a Kung Fu club in the university.
Okay. And how old were you back then?
How old I was? No,
Yeah.
I was 18 to 22.
Okay. So pretty young.
Yeah. So that was the time, and then I became 24, and after finishing university, I moved to Tokyo to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then just worked first 6 months in the Tokyo's office. My company called NEC, Nippon Electric Company.
Okay.
one of the major for computer and communication, satellite communication company, one of the biggest in the world.
Okay.
Not the family electric, but communication systems.
Okay.
Yeah. Then they sent me after 6 months to Taiwan to make a communication system in Taiwan.
And at that time, did you still train your Shaolin Kung Fu and teach?
Yes. And then when I was in Taiwan, and of course I started to study a little bit Chinese, and then the daytime working, and the evening I visit several Kung Fu clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Because Taiwan was the center, because many of the Kung Fu masters escaped from mainland to Taiwan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taiwan was it's the Republic of China. The another one is People's Republic. So they became the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To China became enemy. But Taiwan was the culture center for China. And then I studied several different type of Kung Fu. And then the Kung Fu which I learned from my Japanese Shaolin.
Yeah.
Japanese Shaolin is little by little Japanized because it fits to Japanese people.
Yeah.
So they take off some of the ground techniques, they like rolling and kicking from the bottom like this. They have been taken out.
Okay.
And there was no good ukemi because it was not necessary. But anyway, so I had to put some of the special ukemi falling technique, different ukemis.
Yeah,
and then
ukemi means ukemi is falling.
Blocking,
how to
falling
fall.
technique. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I had to put the more Chinese leg technique, sweeping,
Mm-hmm.
and ground kicking like acrobatic techniques.
Mm-hmm.
I have to put it back. So, and then already my Shaolin became more and more. I'm originally Japanese, but different from the Japanese Shaolin to North Chinese Shaolin.
Okay, so yeah, so you brought in a lot more elements of the original Chinese styles, and you brought it in and merged it more with the Japanese Shaolin that you learned. Yeah.
Yes. Then I had several times years between with the head of the Shaolin temple from China, and he taught me many things and idea, and it's okay. So they accepted me as a very unique Shaolin master.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you are basically officially recognized
Yes.
as a master of North Shaolin Kung Fu in the Shaolin Temple in China.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Which is really unheard of, that they are acknowledging a Japanese person like that, right?
Yeah, because my original sensei came back from China, but he was a Japanese origin, so he had to also, his style become more Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big difference between the Chinese and Japanese. So I want go back to China and more Chinese elements which is taken out in Japan.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. And it went good. So my fighting system became adapted. Many of the I teach all the Europe for a lot of police people,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and quite a practical,
Mm-hmm.
the fighting system
Yeah.
and
This stuff works. This is not just beautiful traditional classical stuff that you will never see used on the street.
Yeah. So the kind of two kind of a beauty. Art, it is a fighting art. It must be beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Must be effective, functional
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm.
If it became like a karate kata, it became just beautiful, and fighting element is out,
Yeah.
and then the difficult to use it, and like this. So I have developed because I came alone to Denmark. I have developed a fighting against another martial art. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fully aware of that because you kicked my ass.
That's a long time ago.
I remember first time I met you. I was very very good at karate at that time. My body was strong. I was fast, and I had trained like so much.
Yes,
I was
you
one
are
of
very strong and fast and very good movement. Yes,
yeah
you are still.
yeah. And I usually was winning all my fights in Denmark, and I remember you did this performance, a demonstration in front of me and my students,
Yeah.
and I remember just thinking, yeah, but that's not gonna work on me. Like I was absolutely sure that whatever you do there, it's not gonna work on me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you could read my mind or I don't know what happened, but you said, hey, you want to try? Come on up. And
Yes,
I
yes.
was like, yeah, sure. And I remember I was imagining in my mind like headlines in newspapers saying Danish Viking killing Japanese master. Like,
Yes.
I was absolutely sure you're gonna get your ass kicked now.
Yes.
And you said to me, attack. And I said,
Yes.
with what? And you said, anything, doesn't matter, just come.
Yes.
I was like, okay. And so I just went for it. And the next moment I was on the floor and I couldn't breathe and I felt I was dying and I
Yes.
didn't know what happened. And you got me up
Yes.
and I was like, and I said to you one more time, like, because I was absolutely sure this was just a mistake. And
Yes.
you took me down 3 times in a row. And after that, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I need to learn something from this guy. Like, I don't know what he's doing. I need to learn.
And I can remember I because I took you because you were looking very suspicious,
Yes.
Like you said, okay, I take Martin down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I told Martin after that, Martin, at that time, so Martin, don't be afraid.
Yeah, you told me don't be afraid. And my ego was so big. And I was just thinking, who are you to tell me not to be afraid? Don't you know who I am? Blah, blah. Like, it was hilarious.
That was a good time, huh? When we were young.
It was very funny. And I was really humbled and it was really good for me. It was very, very healthy experience for me. So anybody listening, I can just say that this works.
Yes.
I was very skilled and very fast, and that didn't mean anything. Like,
Yes.
so. But anyway, let's go back to the history. So you were in Taiwan learning and adding.
Then I came back from Taiwan, my job, and Taiwan at that time I get 10 times more salary, monthly salary, compared to the Japanese office people. And I had to stay in the international hotel, and I have a limousine and driver. And can you imagine just a 23 years young boy? And very high position and plenty money.
Yeah.
And then I came back, and then continued to work. At that time, the office was Tokyo World Trade Center. And at that time, the tallest building, at that time it was, tallest building in Japan, 40 stories. Today, some building is taller than, higher than them. But absolutely the tallest building in Tokyo, and I could see all the Tokyo from my office. And it was amazing. And then, you became a kind of crazy. You had plenty money, you were young, and a very elite job. Then the company asked me to go to Australia a couple of years to make, they need the communication systems. Okay, microwave and systems, which today all the, then I asked, I don't want to go to Australia, very primitive at that time. and then I thought I became maybe just to come back 26, just working like a, health facility. I like to go to America or Europe.
Yeah.
Then the company's, the director said, you belong to Asia Oceanic section, Australia, New Zealand, and all Asia. This is my section. If I go to Europe, I have to belong to another section, because company, we had 200 international elite people, and I am one of them. So I think, if you don't want to send me to America or Europe, I'll go by myself.
Okay.
And I just say, okay, I stop. I just leave.
Oh, wow.
And so I bought a single ticket through the Soviet Union, train and plane and the train, or the combination came out through the Soviet to Finland. Then I said, this is a free place.
Okay.
And where you go, I don't know. But I'll find some place to live.
Yeah.
And I reached traveling some part of Europe. Later, few months later, I reached to Copenhagen.
Okay.
And then I live almost 49 years.
Yes. Yeah. You're still in Denmark now.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how I met you.
Yes. So that is the story about. Then I went to gymnastic high school, gymnastic college for physical education. Then my wife Kirsten was a student there.
Oh, that's how you met.
That's why I lost my chance to go back to Japan.
Yeah. Okay.
She said, sorry. No, not sorry. I was very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I start to teach in nighttime in the Copenhagen Kung Fu clubs, and then
So you opened up a dojo in Copenhagen?
Yes.
And what was this dojo called?
Called the Shaolin Temple Kung Fu, Copenhagen Shaolin Temple Kung Fu.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many years ago is this? When was that?
That's 3 years later, so I think 46 years ago, yeah.
46 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
But before that, I was training in the Jiu-Jitsu club and Judo club.
Yeah.
But it was not my club. I was a guest instructor. Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. When you're living in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
So I have visited, and I have 3 regular places I used to go to training.
Okay. So you have 2 styles that you are teaching. You're teaching North Shaolin Kung Fu and
Yes.
Yamaue Aikijutsu. And
Yes.
Yamaue Aikijutsu, where did that come in? How did that come into being, and what happened?
Actually, very funny, so strange idea is the master, my Kung Fu master, who came back from China, but he was originally Japanese. But when he was in Manchuria, North China, I think he was 16, 17 years old, like this, my former sensei. And he said his grandfather was Hakkoryu Jujutsu master. Hakkoryu comes from Aikijujutsu.
Okay.
So yeah, in this way, so he had some of the basic technique of good jujutsu. And that was the idea. So Aikijutsu technique, which he learned from his grandfather, it came to me. And then that was a very good basic idea.
So basically, already from beginning, you already learned 2 systems at the same time,
Yes.
parallel to each other.
Yes.
And they kind of complement each other, I would say.
Because before Kung Fu, I was training judo and karate. Judo and karate went no conflict. Okay. Then we had some difficulties with Kung Fu's long punches. You have to twist your body.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
Then the karate is not twisting. That's a standing.
Yeah.
So it's a short punch. That's a 2 totally different movement.
Yeah.
So I have to abandon the karate movement.
Yeah.
In order to do another movement.
Yeah.
Because
the long hand.
Yeah. You cannot go together with one is circle and one is
Linear.
line, no?
Yeah.
So because you cannot make a combination.
Wouldn't you say, because this is my own experience, is that from my own experience is that I trained karate, like first I trained judo, but then I trained karate for many years, and then I learned about your system, and I could see that if you are advanced in karate, it's actually pretty easy to move over into where you move the whole body, because now what happens in karate is that all these very basic, very difficult techniques to learn in the foundation, they become more and more smooth and relaxed. And then suddenly you automatically, I see karate people who never even trained North Shaolin Kung Fu. They even move their body when they're punching and stuff like that. So naturally it starts coming up in you, but only when you're really advanced. That's my experience.
That is, when you have the one basic movement, foundation, if you have a good foundation and then you developed, you can come out because you have the good foundation.
Exactly.
But you cannot teach 2. One you go move straight, one you move circle.
Yes.
In a one time.
Yeah.
You can teach the 2 things together.
Yeah, you cannot perform both at the same time. It's impossible. Yeah. You have
to be about 4 or 5 years for one thing.
Yeah.
Then you can do so. That's why you came out because you are the straight, but before the judo body and the aikido like this, so you can easily come out.
For me, it wasn't difficult. It was easy to learn.
Most of the Goju people, training,
But
One of the funny things.
I think the only reason it was easy for me to learn was because of the foundation was strong.
Yeah.
And so and then I drop it, and then I learn, because it's the same principles of balance and breath, and like it's always the same with the key, like the
Yes.
strength, power, snap, all that stuff.
You know, as long as you have a very good, solid foundation, you can build a tall building, you can have a wide building, square, whatever, as long as foundation is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I said many people don't need to any foundation. Just learn techniques, and you become nothing.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah, about you know the sport jujutsu system
Yes, I
in
know.
Europe.
Yeah, they're
Huh?
not. They're half
They,
good at everything.
they say they are very good in karate and they are very good in judo.
Yeah.
So they are very good in jujutsu combat because karate and judo is a good. If you mix, it becomes super good.
Yeah, yeah.
And you become nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely can tell you, when I trained judo in my early, like I started when I was 9 years old, and I did judo for like 7 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I went into the karate school and started doing karate, and it was like there was nothing in judo that I could use in karate. Like it was completely, it was so different. Like
Yeah, so different.
like,
Yeah.
you can't train these two things together. It's impossible.
No. Yeah, that's it what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Because you can master long time, you can build up the new things, but you cannot train two things together.
No.
That's it not even a two, you know, Monday I go to judo, Tuesday I go to karate.
It's
You
not
know,
gonna
it
work.
become nothing.
Yeah.
No, 1 year go to karate, after that you go to judo, possible, but
Yeah.
not in the same time
Yes.
for the basic.
I fully agree with that. I fully agree with that.
I'm talking about always because movement and energy element.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is technical. No, we go back to the history. When I was about 24, and company commanded me to go to Australia, so I gave the paper to my boss. I had a one single ticket to Europe. I don't come back.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I left Japan. And I came to Denmark, and that is, and started develop. Then I met a lot of big people like you, tall people.
Yes.
You know, and I'm just 160, so almost everybody a minimum 20 to 30 centimeter taller than me.
Yeah.
And that was almost impossible. So I have to develop how to come in and out. And then my basic movement with a long punch from Shaolin helped me because I can go in and out.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I could use a lot of also jujutsu techniques. Anyway, I had a many good jujutsu technique and Aikido technique from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Then I came to Europe, I started to teach. There was no Kung Fu club. Okay, nobody knew Kung Fu is.
Yeah.
So many Jujutsu club invited me to come to teach. So I started to teach, Sweden and Denmark, Norway, all the Jujutsu clubs how to fight.
Yeah.
Okay. Then but at that time I still kept my Aikido Jujutsu for secret.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
I kept it. Then I met one European people said that Aikido Jutsu, we have Aikido Jutsu, special technique like this. bullshit, we are keeping a secret. But European, some people start to open up the club. They don't know, not so exactly, but using the name. So I said, okay, now I want to introduce. That's 10 years later. So it means almost like 35 years ago, yeah?
Yeah.
I said, I will teach also to the Jiu-Jitsu people that the Waiki Jiu-Jitsu is. But I don't have any license for like this.
Yeah.
So okay, so if I put my own style, so my name on, I take the responsibility.
Yes, that's a good idea.
So that becomes the Yamaue Ryu. It's my style.
Yeah. And could you tell me what's the difference between Yamaue Aikijutsu and Aikido as we know it?
Aikido's master founder, Ueshiba Sensei. He was training Aikijujutsu.
Mm-hmm.
He was the master of Aikijujutsu. And he had his one of his partner or student is from my family.
Mm-hmm.
So Ueshiba Sensei is born from Okayama and very close to where we are speaking the same language, same dialect.
Yeah.
And very close to the next to Osaka. And one of my grandfather was opened a school in Osaka. And he was a partner, his sensei was Ueshiba Sensei.
Okay.
But one day the Soke Takeda, the survivor of the Daitoryu Aikijujutsu, came from North Japan, Hokkaido to Osaka, and said, "What I am a Ueshiba Sensei." Okay, Takeda Soka told him that I am the sensei of Ueshiba. So from now on, you pay to me, not to Ueshiba.
Okay.
Okay. So the Ueshiba sensei came to Osaka to my father's actually uncle, but he was born in our house. And he's the owner of the Asahi newspaper's dojo. Then they said, Soka Takeda wanted the money and the power, so he took over. So Ueshiba Sensei is disappointed or taking over. So Ueshiba Sensei left the dojo and he started his own called Aikido, not the Aikijujutsu.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that is a very well-known history.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
and from my experience, because I've been in the hands of Aikido people and of your Aikijutsu, and I find the Aikijutsu way more dangerous and where Aikido seems to be, throwing you out and you're flying in places where here you kind of get trapped in and really like stuck and breaking your arms and legs and whatever. It's a very, for me, it feels much more military, much more.
Exactly. So there was two energy. One is a centrifugal energy is going out, which is Aikido using, throwing people away.
Yeah, so people fly somewhere.
Right. And I'm using the centripetal opposite energy. The circle is coming into it.
Yeah.
Opposite tornado, but like a water spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Warrior fall.
Yes.
Water coming into the center.
Yeah.
So I'm using this energy. And this is a very typical Aikido jutsu.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
I do believe that why the Ueshiba Sensei, he was a master of Aikijutsu, but after World War II finished, he had changed totally combat system to more peaceful
Yeah.
system. So I think he has taken all the dangerous technique out and more peaceful, just throwing out and nothing happens.
Yeah.
But so, but Aikijutsu was kind of the secret combat technique, so we kept it, but we didn't tell them.
Mm-hmm. So
Then the
in Denmark you started. So you opened your own dojo, the Shaolin Kung Fu dojo, but you also started teaching Yamaue Aikijutsu.
yes, exactly. I have to reorganize and make how to develop the syllable pensum,
Mm-hmm.
how to and step by step all the manuals how to develop the student.
Mm-hmm.
Then everything is finished. Then I said this is a new style I want to teach.
Mm-hmm.
That is about 30 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you are pretty famous in the martial arts community. You're very famous, and you're traveling around. You're still traveling around in the world.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, yeah.
I come also to Brazil every year. So
Yeah.
sorry, not to Ecuador, but very close to you.
Well, next time you come to Brazil, please swing by over here, and I
Yes,
have a lot of people here dying to meet you.
yes. So I'm thinking to come to Ecuador. I like. Also, I go to also the every second day I like it to Florida for the seminar and like this. Anyway, so it's not so far away.
Yeah, it's not. And so basically, you have now North Shaolin Kung Fu schools all over the world, and you have Yamaue Aikijutsu schools all over the world.
Yes.
And you have very, very highly graduated masters now that are having a very good understanding of your system now.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have actually brought in a massive legacy on this planet that, like, the world did not lose the northern styles. The world did not lose it thanks to you. I mean, it's coming, it's here, and it's not going away. And we also have the Aikijutsu because of you now. So that's a.
So, there is a two type of the boys comes at would like to learn the martial art. One type is like kung fu, karate, taekwondo, like to kick and punch. That's the main part.
Yeah.
The Thai boxing, kickboxing, kung fu, karate, taekwondo. Those people just want to punch and kick.
Yes.
Then another type is judo, jujutsu, grappling, and there's a two types.
Yes.
So the first is yes, I like to punch and kick. Okay, you know how to do it. So teach. Then they are dreaming one day, oh, I want to be like a jujutsu, like a Steven Seagal. I want to also take people down. And then the jujutsu and grappling people, they say, I know all how to take down, but I don't know how to kick.
Yes.
And how to punch. So it's both is they are dreaming. You have only one art. I want to be like this. I want to be like this. Then some people said, okay, mix together. So says, sorry, boys, very, very difficult. Take time.
Yes.
So, so that's why if the one boy who like to have a punch and kick and blocking, okay, let's study Shaolin Kung Fu like this. And one boy is more like want to take clothes. Okay, Aikijutsu, grappling. And today I'm very lucky because Do you remember when we were training in the Castagnare school in
Yes.
Bandung, and we made a kind of a narrating introduction of the ultimate fighting
No, I don't remember that.
program. Harry came up with the TV company, and me and Harry and Yon Duptar introduced the first videotape of the Gracie fighting with ultimate fighting, cage fighting.
Yeah.
Today it's very popular,
Yeah,
but
it is.
we made an introduction when you were in the Castani area.
Yeah. I think I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first time.
And you had connection to the Gracie brothers, correct?
Yes. Father died. We belong to the same Soke Council, same world organization.
Mm-hmm.
And then the founder of the Gracie system father died, and then the Helio died, and then the Horace Gracie and Hickson, and there's several. They have many brothers,
Mm-hmm.
and
So I would like the listeners to also um, hear a little bit about the Daisho temple of Japan. I went to Japan with you, and
yes,
I never forget when we arrived in the airport how everybody knew who you were, and they were just bowing, and
yes.
like you just you just walked through. You didn't even have to show passport or anything. Um, and so it's like you have a very high position in this temple,
Yes,
uh, and this temple is connected to Miyasatsu Musashi, which is a very famous samurai. A long time ago, he wrote a book called the Book of Five Rings,
yes,
which is still used today by a lot of businessmen, etc. Could you
yes,
talk a little bit about your connection to the temple and connection to Musashi
yes.
with all that?
About just talk about the Musashi. It was let's say 400 years ago. About the time, okay,
Mm-hmm.
16th centuries. So 400, 500 years. No, 450 years ago, or something like this.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
the Musashi was very born in the Ohara, which is the Musashi Miyamoto village, very close to the temple.
yeah.
And he was, his father was Munin-sai. His father died, and then the mother died also very quickly. So Musashi was just, I think, 7 years old or like this, and he became parentless. So then he had to be adapted to the mother's side priest in Daisho temple, the temple which you have been. Okay?
Yeah. So
And
he,
Musashi was grown up in the temple, and but he was a kind of a very tough, strong boy.
yeah,
And he had a fighting with samurai called the Kihei. And Musashi was just a 13 years old boy. And he killed that samurai.
yes,
And he started fighting, I think, 64 fighting officially.
yeah,
He never lost.
yeah.
He never lost. So
And you are a previous incarnation of him from
I I think that is what we believe.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
and that was a Musashi in let's say 400 years ago,
yeah.
and he left the temple for he was 18 years old boy, and he was joined in the at that time, Japanese were fighting each other, and they would decide to the west and the east. East is the Tokugawa, the shogun, no?
Yeah.
Tokugawa shogun. And Musashi was part of the Osaka power. So it means Musashi's group lost. Osaka lost war to Tokyo.
So isn't he supposed to be to commit seppuku if he lost?
At that time, many were killed and hunted. So Musashi had to escape.
Okay.
And he came to the temple and listened to the bell and like this, but he had to travel. He had to escape because many soldiers from the Himeji Castle. Himeji Castle belongs to the Tokyo power. Tokyo's shogun, Tokugawa power. So the military people, the soldiers from Himeji, chasing the Musashi and some others. So Musashi had to travel to many different countries.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that is, let's say, 400 years ago. And Musashi fought and he never lost. Then the last fighting, he was 26 years old. Then he disappeared from the mainland and the so-called the very south called Kyushu, another island. And he became an instructor and then the teaching way of fighting, and then later he lived in the grot, in the cave.
In the cave.
Yeah, and after his death, they found out the 5 roles of fighting. You know, that became the book of 5 rings. Ring is the roll, no? Scroll.
Yeah.
5 scrolls. And Musashi was the same time, he was an artist, painting, calligraphy, and he was making the wooden cup for the Buddha.
Yeah.
And he carved and he sold on the way, so he could finance his traveling through the Japan. So that was the Musashi. Musashi left him when he was about 16 years old boy to the temple and never come back. Okay, he grown up in the temple, but he never come back.
And so the temple, they have a statue of him.
Yes.
And I remember it's such a beautiful place, an amazing place. The energy is so high. And and what is your connection like I was about to say, what is your connection to the temple in this lifetime?
Yes. It is going back to about 40 years ago. Yes. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, my father told me he had a book, big, like 24 books of Musashi. I'm talking about Musashi all the time.
Yes.
But I didn't care. I was just, of course, I knew Musashi, but not so much historic.
Yeah.
Then I was, of course, in Denmark, and then I was working for the Danish government, and semi-diplomatic business consultant for Danish government. So I used to go to Tokyo and Osaka. And then my little younger sister told me that priest from temple, Dai Sensei, want to meet you. I said, I don't know anything about those things. I don't know nothing about.
Yeah.
Okay, but interesting. So let's meet. And so they came. He came to pick me up at the Osaka, my hotel, and he started to drive through the Himeji. It took almost 4 hours go to the temple.
It's a long drive.
And I asked him, are you going to kidnapping me or what? Because I see nothing. City is going on the mountain and mountain and mountain. What is this?
Yes.
So, and then as you know, it's a beautiful temple and it belongs to lawyer family, owned by the family. And I came out like you did and just came by the car and just in a few minutes walk, there was a statue of Musashi and Otsu-san. And that impressed, this is Musashi. And it was shocked me with happiness. No? And then find out Daishoji temple standing. And I know this temple name defines me. My father told me. I didn't know anything about, but my father told me. I can remember. Then Dai's father and mother, they came, high priest and mother came, and then they said, welcome home, my son. I said, what is this?
Yes. Yes.
What is this? I don't know nothing about.
Yeah.
And it impressed with the royal room and like this. I was, Jesus Christ, this is like a dream. Like you know the same place. It's a holy place.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. And then the years passed. I was doing consulting business for government. So I was sometime in Japan. And every time I would come to Osaka, went back to temple.
Yeah.
And then I was interested in, and then we had asked me whether I'd like to study Buddhism. I said, I just kicked off the Japan, get out, drop out, and I wanted to be free from Japan. So, and I don't care so much about old culture. I'm a modern man. And but little by little, I was interested in because of the Buddha Japanese history. So I was pushed back to the Japan.
Yeah.
All the time, summer time. Then something inside waking, wake up.
In your heart.
Yeah, in my heart.
That's beautiful.
I know this place. And finally, how come I know so many techniques? Nobody taught me.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. How come do I have such a knowledge? And like this.
Exactly.
And little by little, then I demonstrate my technique and like this. Then the temple's mother told me that because the Shingon Buddhism is like a Tibetan Buddhism based on the reincarnation and the meditation. So I said, the Musashi came back after 400 years.
Yes.
Yes. So they were very happy.
Yeah.
And then I said, they want to adapt me officially.
Yeah.
Then years later with my sisters and they came to the temple and I had the ceremony to become a monk.
Yeah.
Yeah, official ceremony. And I've been officially, they adapted that temple.
Yeah. I remember being in the temple with you, and you were sitting with the high priest next to him, and you were doing all the the Buddha's Heart Sutra, etc. You were chanting all these, and I was sitting in the back with all the other students, and I remember I had goosebumps up my spine, and it was I was just in awe. It's such a beautiful energy over there, and it really is the soul, the spirit of martial arts. This is the birthplace. This is where it's coming from, and also where you end up back into the silence, the meditation, the opening of the heart, the awakening. Because for me, martial arts is, in today's world, everybody talks about you need to practice yoga to reach enlightenment. Where for me, I can see martial arts has all the same ingredients, and I would say, in my opinion, even more powerful ingredients to bring you to the same form of awakening into yourself and understanding yourself. And I really saw that in Japan when I went to the temple with you.
Yeah, because the temple is very famous for the center of the chi energy. Chi. And location, and it's a special place. And anyway, so then the temple asked me to I could help their international relationship activities. Then the Daisho temple was directly communication and exchanging with leader of Versailles Palace in outside of Paris in France. Okay, Versailles Palace and like this, and then I was put back to the kind of the diplomatic job to do a lot of jobs, international relationship. And Daiei Sensei, that my temple brother, he has been visiting the White House and all kind of this top level people to discuss things. So I was involved, and so in this way, so I get a lot of a good connection. Anyway, that is nothing to do with Buddha, but the idea of the Musashi and the place and my knowledge, and plus meditation and all those things, atmosphere made my belief, my key, become stronger. This is waking my power from inside.
And that happened in the temple?
Yes. I had already, but not really could understand. But nobody can understand, but I understand physically and scientifically those things. So all the information comes in, and you have to give the information to not close.
Yeah.
If you keep the secret, it stops.
Yeah.
Energy must run. Makes the energy run.
Yeah. So would you say that, so before, just for the listeners who are listening here, there is a lot of videos on YouTube where Soke Yamaue is performing techniques that normal people cannot do, where you are controlling people with on an energy level. So before we go too deep into what really is going on, I just would like to clarify, because this is very important. So you had that capacity already, but when you started really connecting on the spiritual aspects, which woke something up in you and through the temple, and something started blossoming in you. And when that started happening, your key mastery, the mastery of what you're doing, started opening up much more. Is this correct?
That's correct, because some of the things called the Kundalini powers rising and like this, and if you don't control, if you don't burn the energy in the correct way, you became totally, some people became totally crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No control of the energy.
Yeah.
So I was a martial artist, and so we have the Zen Buddhism, the meditation teams. We don't eat so much. We wake up, from early morning and almost no food, only little food. Training, meditation, training is a cleaning and like this. So the balance. We knew that energy come up, waking up, and Western people doing meditation and like this, and you have a daily too much eating, and then the meditate 3-4 hours doing nothing, no duty, no control,
Yeah.
just and in this way the balance.
Yeah.
You get more energy, but the energy cannot come out because you are not using.
Yes.
So, in Japan, we call that the religious energy. Energy comes from cosmic,
Yeah.
comes in, but you have to use this one, and
Yes.
you have to make it run.
Yeah.
Because energy is the current.
Yeah.
You cannot just save.
I remember in Denmark, we trained, you trained us very hard, and I was having so much activity going on. And then I remember one time I had an injury. I had a knee or foot injury or something like that, and I couldn't train for like 2 months. And my whole spine started burning like crazy. It's like I had like my spine was on fire. And I was going insane. I felt like I was going crazy, and I didn't know what was going on. And then I remember you talked to me and you said, Joshua, you need to move this energy because it's burning you up. And it's because when you do a lot of training, then you have to move it. And if you have an injury, you need to find another way of moving it.
Yeah, because the energy is like electricity. Mm-hmm. And you can keep into your battery, but the capacity, but the energy must be running. Right?
Yeah.
Too much energy just in and not running out. It starts burn inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it destroy you. So for the religious people, it's easy, but if you don't know how to control, you become a kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I had a period of few years where I felt it was like my spine was on fire and my mind was going crazy. It was really strong energies. Because I was also at that time I was doing a lot of Kriya yoga, breath work, lots of other things as well on top. So it was a lot on top of it.
Because we are living in the modern world, and then we have the daily time we have to think about and eating normally, but not so much duty to do, and nobody is controlling you. Just we are free, and then we lost the balance.
Yes.
That's why. And in the temple, we said the energy comes anytime, just fun. But when it comes, you have to be ready. If not ready, it starts to burn you from inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
So in this way, I studied, and also in the same time about the key energy, I studied about the natural science. And, I know exactly what happens. Not exactly come see. I have the answer, so I can teach.
You have what?
I can teach. I can teach you.
Yeah, you can teach people how to do this.
Yes.
Yeah. But they would have to have a meditation practice, right? And also have an open heart, a connection.
Yes, and before that, you need a really solid background of the Buddha.
Yeah.
Because you have to be really strong so you can believe yourself.
Yeah.
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 If your mind, if you meet somebody, big people, and if your mind, oh my God, and like this, then it's a block, so energy cannot come in.
Yeah.
So you are using all your energy to fight. That's what I said.
Do you have any high-ranking instructors out there in the world that you're teaching, and they have their dojos all over the world? Is there any of them out there who is doing what you're doing, or can do what you're doing?
Not by, sometimes it comes for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I trained with you in Denmark, we did some control thing, and for me it worked like 1 out of 20 times, or and I could feel there was something going on with my brain waves and the connection, and then the energy just was flowing.
Yes.
And so I did it. It actually worked, and I was really surprised every time it happened. And I can see there's an access to it, but it's not. You have to really be. It's like meditation in motion. You have to be really quiet.
Yes.
Inside.
Because if I'm standing side of you, you are confident and you feel like I am standing behind you, so you can relax.
Yeah.
But if I'm not, you become, oh, if I make a mistake, maybe nobody can help. Anything about start to doubt yourself.
Yes.
Then they block the energy flow.
Yeah.
But if I'm, don't worry, I'm with you. So you more relax, you have more energy comes in. You become more strong. Yeah.
It's a very fascinating. It's so amazing what the human body is actually capable of doing, and
human body can do many incredible. Today, I'm now also still watching the Danish program with the brain. Some I can send you some links.
Yeah.
Good one. Incredible brain can do many things. But
totally.
Anyway, this is every time something happens, you can come back to the calm position. This is only given by the meditation.
Yeah.
When you have been in meditation a long time, so that's how to get the calm very quickly can come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why many people say, do I have to meditate? Yes, we did it. So I don't need to meditate.
Yes, exactly.
All the times, because I know how to reach there.
Yeah. Yeah. So for example, when I do a kata right now, if I do a kata, I don't think. There's no thinking. There's no feeling. There's no nothing. It's just doing itself. And the same so it's like and the same with breath work. Same with meditation. Meditation for me is when you can go into the world and have activities, and you're still having this mushin, the no mind, and the hollow and empty. You're just being hollow and empty in whatever you do. And I feel martial arts is very good at teaching you that, because it's always, martial arts is always confronting you. There's always somebody who wants to do something, right? And so if you can learn to be completely empty in that space, you can transfer that into all of life.
Yes. Same thing. The only thing that if this is their fight martial art is with enemy. You fight with your enemy's energy.
Yes.
Then it comes like a pan or bang, whatever happens. If you fight with the no enemy, only your partner, and it becomes like Aikido, energy starts to just slowly moving, but no sparkling.
No conflict.
No conflict. So it must be a kind of the conflict. Okay, and with the conflict, and you keep calm. Then the energy comes by itself, protect you. Because if,
so true.
If you start to doubt, so that's why you have to be really strong. You must have all the basic movement, everything. Yeah. So you can relax. The point is you have to relax, but when you fight, you cannot relax.
But it feels like relaxation because it's it's easy. It's there's effort, but only at very short intervals, very short, fast efforts. But it doesn't feel like effort because you're relaxed.
There was one American scientist find out that the alpha wave position. When the brain is alpha wave, you can really relaxation. Your body become strong, but you are relaxed. Little by little meditation, like this alpha wave comes. But alpha wave brain studies, and little by little, you have alpha wave always. Okay? When you need it, it comes. So that's why I can just go into it. I don't need to just moment, I have to meditate and like this. Because the brain knows.
So wouldn't you say that you're always having alpha waves? It's always there.
Always there.
Always there. So even right now when we're sitting talking, there's in the background, there's alpha waves, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And normally, because this is not only, mainly when we're talking, this is a beta wave, intelligent wave doing, mainly. The funny thing is the delphin waves. Delphin is about 75% with alpha wave.
Delta waves?
With alpha wave.
Yeah. Are you talking about, wait a minute, are you talking about dolphins or?
Dolphin, dolphin.
Dolphin, okay, okay. So
dolphin, its brain is bigger than human.
Yeah, and they have 75% alpha waves.
Yeah. So they like to play, they understand. But they are not intelligent as humans. They are intelligent, but not human, because normal humans have no activity of alpha wave. We are mainly the beta wave.
Yeah, mainly beta.
Delphin has a beta wave with mathematics and calculation and like this, and not so big like this in dolphin, but the dolphin has I think like a children playing.
Yeah.
So their intelligence is different. And then the human have maybe 5% alpha wave activity. Dolphin have a 75%.
Yeah.
So they understand, they know.
They understand that world.
Yeah, that world,
but
which we don't.
Yeah, but because of our high beta activity, we are so-called intelligent, right?
Yes.
On that level. But I do feel very strongly that the key for all this meditation and breath work and martial arts, yoga, all that stuff, is definitely to increase the alpha waves but living coherently in a way where you have the beta waves when you need them. For me, I'm surprised how little thinking actually is needed throughout the day.
Yes.
We don't need to think a lot.
Very nice experience, okay? This is a cup. Imagine this is a very heavy one, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Metals or whatever, heavy.
Yeah.
Very heavy things. And you catch, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is heavy and this is very heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like this. Just to make a little ceremony. it goes up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because if you think it is heavy, it is heavy.
Yeah.
It is light, it is light. As long as much as you can support with your arm muscles. I can put a very heavy weight with one hand.
Yeah.
I can take it.
Yeah.
Compared to the most of the big guy cannot.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yeah.
can just.
Yeah.
Okay, and very thinking is if you catch, you make the weight for 10 kilo or whatever, just with one hand, and one hand with the heavy one. Okay, no muscles, but just bringing up. Many people it will stop. Okay, cannot bring because it's too heavy.
Yeah.
Okay, using only this muscle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not this way. So you can find the weightlifting. Just catch and for 5 kilos to 10 kilos, just until you feel very heavy and not possible to do like this. Then don't watch. Don't watch. Just do.
Yeah.
Yes. And I win a lot of like your side, Danish big guys, they are trying, not possible. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I've seen this. I mean, because I trained with you so many years, I've seen this. You demonstrate this so many times for us.
Yeah.
And
But this is just mind, huh?
Yeah, it is. It's all the mind. It's all the mind.
We have a break, such as not possible. It's not possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is how to come over.
Yeah.
And then your muscle have the limitation, but then you use the energy of a key together.
Yeah.
So your body and the key energy must be together.
Together,
so
yeah.
It becomes art.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We in the West we rely too much on muscle fibers and too little of on the key energy.
Yes.
So okay. So this we have been talking now for like I think 3 hours.
Yes. Okay. Any time, okay, we can just send a messenger, just put it, and we can arrange the next time.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's continue for a part 2, and
yes.
I would. Today we were covering a lot of your history and your background, but I would very much if we could do another time where we talk more specifically about martial arts styles and the good parts and bad parts, like and also the more philosophical aspect of what it means to train martial arts with the dojo kun, etc. So if we could do that in a part 2, that would be great.
And I'll come to Ecuador, don't worry.
Okay, awesome. That would be great. Yeah. Okay, so
yeah, okay.
Nice thank you very much. See you next time. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.